It started when I moved into a rental house on the edge of a wooded area in Pennsylvania. It was a deep wilderness, just enough trees to block out the back of the neighborhood. The house had a wide yard, no fences, and an old motion sensor light that flickered on when anything passed by. The first few nights were uneventful, quiet, peaceful. But on the fourth night, I noticed something strange. The motion light in the backyard kept flicking on, but there was never anything there when I looked. I thought it was bugs, maybe a squirrel. It happened again the next night, and the next. Always sometime between 2:30 and 3 a.m. On the seventh night, I was still awake at my desk when the light came on again. This time I decided to wait. I turned off the monitor, sat still, and watched through the blinds. At first, nothing. But then I saw movement. Not a person, not an animal, but a figure. A tall, thin silhouette at the edge of the woods. It wasn't moving toward the house. It was rocking, side to side, slowly, like a broken metronome. The light went off. It stayed there in the dark. The next morning, I checked the spot. No tracks, no broken twigs. Just cold, untouched grass. I didn't sleep the next night. At 2:40 a.m., the light came on again. This time, the figure was closer, halfway across the yard, still rocking. I grabbed my phone and recorded, but the camera picked up nothing, not even the light. When I looked again through the blinds, the figure was gone. The next night, it got worse. I turned off all the lights and waited. At 2:36 a.m., the backyard light turned on. The figure was now just a few feet from the house, facing the window I was behind. Not moving, not rocking, just standing. I shut the blinds. I stayed up all night, terrified. At sunrise, I forced myself to check outside. There were prints this time, barefoot, deep, even though the ground was dry. That day, I installed a new motion camera. I tested it. It worked. That night, nothing happened. The light stayed off. The next morning, I checked the footage. At 2:44 a.m., the light came on. There was no figure in the frame, but the shadow of something tall passed over the lens. From inside the house, I moved out 2 days later. After I moved out of that house, I stayed with my cousin in New Jersey for a while. I never told him the full story, just that the rental gave me a bad feeling and I needed to get away. The first week at his place was quiet. No motion lights, no figures in the yard. I was finally sleeping again, but on the eighth night, around 3 a.m., I woke up to a noise. A single knock, not on the front door, but on the bedroom window. His house has a second floor. My window was 12 feet off the ground. I stayed in bed, heart racing. I waited, listening, nothing. The next morning, I checked the outside from the yard. No ladder, no branches, but there were marks on the glass. 3 long smudge streaks, like fingerprints dragged down the pane. I started wondering if this thing, whatever it was, had followed me. That night I set up the old motion cam again. This time, I aimed it inside the room. I left a lamp on. I tried to sleep. At 3:11 a.m. I woke up freezing. The air felt heavy, like something was pressing down on the room. The lamp was off. The bulb had burst. In the corner of the room, near the closet, I saw the dark shape, not moving, just there. I blinked. It was gone. The next morning, I reviewed the camera footage. At exactly 3:06 a.m., the temperature dropped on the thermal overlay. Then slowly, a tall figure appeared on the edge of the frame, almost blending into the shadows. You could barely make it out, but the distortion in the pixels was real. It wasn't a camera glitch. It had a form. It stood there for 4 minutes. Then, in a single frame, it was right next to the bed. The footage cut out. The file ended. I moved again. This time, cross-country. I changed my number. I don't use the same email. I don't stay in one place long anymore. But some nights, I still get that feeling. Like something standing outside the window, watching, waiting, not gone, just patient.